Full of frogs. I find in these areas too, I don't know how it happens, but when you put rainbow fish or native fish in there, you always get the babies up in here.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's, they must spawn and go to the system, and they somehow get up through it all, and that's their safe spot.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. I'm Greg Wittstock, the pond guide.
Hello, I'm Bridget Patrick.
Hi, Bridget.
Hello,
I'm Brian. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Brian.
So how long have you lived here?
We've been here just over a year.
So you bought the house with the pond?
Yeah.
All
Come in
right.
for a minute, we're just in here.
This is John. Nice to meet you. John Patrick.
The pond guy. Hi, John.
You
Greg,
well?
nice to meet you. And this is our distributor out here, Waterscapes Australia. So before I see the water feature, so you guys moved here a year ago. Was one of the reasons that you bought the house the water feature?
We've been looking for a house down here for some time.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't want a house that was the same as the house we had in the city.
So this
We
is
didn't
very
want a
eclectic.
really modern, contemporary house. We wanted something that was a bit rural.
Uh-huh.
And this was really nice. Mud brick, good temperature. There's no air conditioning.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nice and cool. It's 108 degrees today.
We also wanted a place where we could attract birds,
Okay.
feathered birds.
So this water feature has to attract birds.
Yeah, we get ducks in winter.
Uh-huh.
And we get herons after the fish.
Sure. Build it and they'll come.
And we put a fair bit of food out for them, and we get king parrots and rosellas and a lot of parrots.
Really?
Rate of sitting on one of our shovels when we were building it.
That is so cool.
It's really very beautiful. And then we had yellow-tailed black cockatoos in flocks coming over, and we had the eagles going over the top. So we get quite a lot of birds here.
This is nature, huh?
Yeah.
And we also have bats. I mean, you must know we have bats in the roof of the house.
Yes, that's really cool.
So we hear them at night, and we had one young lady who took exception to the bats, but most of the time nobody minds them. And then keep the mosquitoes down. And
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So then on the frogs and
Plus
the fish.
frogs and the fish and the...
Well, there's about 4 or 5 species of frog out
There are.
Yeah.
We can lie in bed and hear the different calls.
Yes.
And if you wake up in the middle of the night, annoyingly, there's a regular gap between calls, and you find yourself counting the seconds. But it's good from that point.
It's nature.
That's what we
Build it and they will come, which is what we like to say.
Yeah.
So now that you've lived with this for a year, is it more work, less work, amount of work that you would thought it would be when you bought the house?
It hasn't been really any work, has it?
No, it's been...
No, I'm a bit sick of mermaids. I have to say, we get a lot of mermaids.
And with that said, let's go check out this beautiful water feature. Oh my gosh.
What we're going to do is I'm taking this out. I didn't get it finished.
Look at that.
I'm taking this grass
Wow. Look at this. There you go. So Patrick's just jumped in, so I was asking how often do you get in there for a dip?
Well, we've been a few times during the summer while we've been down here. And we had a grandson who's 10 months old.
Oh, perfect.
He loves this end, and he kicks and paddles, with a bit of support, and just loves it. And then, it's a great place just to dive in on a hot day like today.
Oh, it's perfect. So what do people that come to your house for the first time say when they see this?
Wow, amazing.
Mm. They're not used to something like this, right?
No, they're not common. We got a guy coming over today to have a look at it. He wants to build a similar thing. And, people who come, they are all absolutely impressed, aren't they?
Yes.
They all stand back and say, oh, that is just, it's so beautiful. People like us, we're not interested in swimming lengths and doing tumble turns. And
Right.
We just want a place where we can cool off. The other thing we love is that our daughter and son-in-law were here with their little dog. It ran all the way around the edge, and some friends came with their dog, and it runs. So it's not just people who enjoyed it; it's our pets too.
Right.
And those they really loved it, didn't they?
They do. And I think the other thing too in the pool is it really fits in with the natural landscape. I mean, as you can see, looking out onto this landscape, it really, backdrop. The pool rolls out into the landscape.
Versus a man-made chlorinated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which would stand out like a sore thumb.
We're interested in ecology, so our long-term vision is to probably try and integrate the pool even more by doing more native planting.
Yes.
To attract more birds. And I started taking this turf out. I didn't get it finished, but I want to plant this up with native grasses and forbs.
Yes.
And then eventually over time, our intention, once we've taken out some big American cypresses and pines, our intention is to make it a much more native oriented garden to try and attract more wildlife. And then the pool, I think, will be even more effectively integrated into the landscape. Really, it is unbelievably easy to care for. I mean, you go and I've seen you fishing around taking a little bit of floating algae out, but really, you know, we haven't done much, and here it is. This is just how it is.
Amen.
And you can see we've got water lilies growing on the surface over there,
Yep.
which are really nice.
Have you enjoyed this water feature more than you expected when you bought the house?
Yeah, we've always been against having swimming pools. We don't have a swimming pool in the city.
Right.
And we never thought we'd have a swimming pool, did we?
No.
This is vacation living at home, all because a recreation pond was created. You wouldn't feel that way if this was a swimming pool.
No.
Spectacular.
Patrick, this is absolutely incredible to me. Really, when you think about it, there's a pump on one side, there's a filter on another side, and it's
exactly the same thing. It's just scaled up to a different level.
so it's how you want to use it, really, right?
How you want to use it, what you project you want to use it for, and it's actually pretty much unlimited what you can do with it. You can grow food in these things. Like I have wetlands in some places where you have bananas. This one actually has Vietnamese mint in it. You can actually grow things you can consume in it, especially in Australia. It's all year round. And then the swimming side of it, it's a regular pond. You're just making it deeper and you're upscaling your filtration.
It's an ecosystem pond
Yes.
that you can play in.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a perennial garden is what it is. And it's wet.
Yeah.
It's a wet perennial garden.
So walk me through a little bit of the design of this, because I think people would love to understand, you know, what goes into making one of these. What's the maintenance like?
Well, I'll just go back to step one, and this actually was a concrete swimming pool in here, but it actually failed. It actually hadn't failed, it just had a very complicated filtration system, and that ended up coming out. So the full concrete thing came out. The client at the time, or that was us pretty much, it was, we want something, we don't like swimming in chlorine. We want to feel clear skin when we come out, and clean and smooth skin. So we did that. And the design on this one was how do we incorporate it into the front of the house so it becomes part of the living area, not too far away, the sound, and the ability to come out and just jump in, hop back in again on a hot day.
Yeah, yeah.
So up the end there we have the wetland coming down through, very simple waterfall through your pond. We have pumping and our intake bay here. The idea was very natural habitat, frog habitat. There was plenty of frogs here before, even in the swimming pool when this was going on, dying in the swimming pool. And I've got to tell you, in summertime, just dropping into this, no matter what you're doing around the property, inside or wherever you are, you just cool off. It cools you off immediately. You feel good, you evaporate, you have to go again.
It's so awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful rock in this one. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you pointed out before, the island rock over here.
Rocks, yeah, we call them turtle rocks or hopping rocks.
So we've got our wetland filter over there, our intake bay over here. So all the debris, all the surface debris that would fall on top of this water gets pulled over into this intake bay where there's a convenient area to clean out. And then design-wise, you can see Patrick standing out on what he called the island rock, which I love. And what's the main reason for wanting to do one like that?
Hey, look, it's just a great place to come. There's a couple of reasons I do it aesthetically. If you have a big body of water, it just looks like a big body of water. If you put something into it, it breaks it up and creates a lot more interest. And we put lighting on these too, so this island sort of flickers at night time.
Nice.
Somewhere to go to too, you can hop across and jump off, and it's just a point of interest.
Rocks like this just call you to come discover them and interact with the pond. And then when you get over here, you just like it's a completely different view and a completely different feeling from this side.
Yeah, and you got the beach here as well, which is
that's awesome. That's incredible. So talk a little bit about the beach and the construction.
So beaches aren't that complicated to do, as long as you put enough material there. You put at least 300-400 mil of sand on top of a rubble base, on top of geo. You don't get a lot of slip down. This is a coarse wash sand, so it's quite a coarse 5 to 7 mil.
Yep.
So it doesn't move so well, but the important thing with a beach I found is always put a jet coming through it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, look at the movement through there, and you don't get any of that material sitting on there. And see how that clear? This is like being in a creek. Look at this. It's just beautiful sandy bottom, you know.
And so what a lot of people would think is if you dug this up, it would really stir up. That sounds like, but really stir up the water. And look at how clean this is.
Yeah, it has a little bit going on there, but that's normal. You know?
Yeah.
So you don't get that surface layer of algae or anything over that. You know?
And I think design-wise, it does exactly what the island does, right?
Yes.
It kind of breaks up the monotony of boulder, boulder, boulder.
Yeah.
Lets your eye rest for a little bit.
Yeah.
Creates a spot that invites you to walk in.
Plant a few rushes and things. Just get
Yeah.
but into the sand as well. This keeps it really interesting. You've got the flag here. I mean, this is like the headland area up again. A bit taller. You can see the rocks, how the rocks aren't just an even right around. There's actually heights going on there and height changes that you'd find at all in nature. And that just makes your eye dance between different levels.
Yeah. This is the main filter of the pond. This is what's keeping this thing crystal clear.
Yeah, so this is actually a 3 by 4 metre wetland. 1.4 metres deep. Our system, Aquascape system at the bottom there, water getting pumped up through a lot of gravel-based, gravel surface area. So a big surface area in there. And we have things like Vietnamese mint growing in here. We have mints, tobacco growing there, which is a type of papaya.
Is there a little spice to that?
There's definitely some spice, it's good stuff.
Yeah, like holy cow. And so what I love about the stairs here that you're standing on, it's not an obvious staircase. You kept it very natural, so it looks like nature has just kind of created this walkway down into the bottom of the pond. And you can see even underwater where it continues down, allowing you to get into where that weird looking fish is swimming.
It's just the way in and out. We find when we build these things, there's sort of like a culture that goes with them. So there's always how people coming in and people get, and actually when you're building them, you can spot that and say, okay, this is where people are going to naturally move from their social area, jump in, swim around, and this is where they're going to come out. So you sort of build around that expectation and that flow. These systems do use less energy and less input and less power than a conventional swimming pool.
What's the temperature out right now? It's about 108 degrees. And Greg, what would you say that water temperature's at? 82?
83.
It's amazing how crystal clear that water is. I mean, you see a little bit of sediment on the bottom. If you were to find a swimming hole in nature, you're not going to find it this clear with no sediment. And it looks like you've done like a little different than the other one with the deck that kind of cantilevers out over the water. You've got some stainless steel posts there.
We still did a brick wall back there, so we just cantilevered on it, but the front comes out further and some posts on the rock.
Something I just love with a lot of Patrick's designs or with these decks that kind of just hang out over the water. Really gives it a vacation feel.
Yeah, it goes back probably a 1.5 feet to the liner.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The water's back here.
Before this was a recreation pond, it was a swimming pool.
Yes, there was a concrete disaster or swimming pool here that sort of still worked, but it was out of use. There was frogs getting stuck in it, and there was, you wouldn't believe it, there's a lot of frogs here. Yeah, so this was a concrete pool here, regular pool, bit of grass up to the side, and it wasn't functioning.
And the reason that the homeowner hired you to do this was?
She did not want to swim in chlorine or have a child swim in chlorine either.
So amazingly, this took you and one other guy created this in 10 days, huh?
10 days, yes, yeah. So it was a process. We had an operator, we had a 14-ton machine here as well. So it came in initially, took out the concrete, took the majority of it away, left some that could be reused and just buried in the back. And then it was shaping it. And we had to take into account where these decks finished and where they began and how it was going to come from the house and come and meet the water. So we dropped it down a little bit to bring it out and bring it down into the landscape. We then excavated the shape, and that excess soil went over the back to create the berm, and we tried to do gentle berms away, so it's not like a dam or something. It sort of melds back into the landscape again.
What would a project like this from Waterscapes Australia cost?
Again, this one is around about 120,000. So with a pond of this size, which is about 17, 18 metres by about 9, 10 metres, sort of in there. There's your wetland filter, we have lighting going on there, all our pumping, intake bay, aquatic plantings, and the general plantings around this one. It comes into a custom project with the beach for around about 120,000.
People spend that on sports cars that they drive a few times a year. This you get to enjoy 365.
It's 365, like today. It's perfect. You jump in there, you've just been in there, Greg. It's like you go off and do the rest of your things you want to do. You come back in, you drop back in it again, you go off, go inside, whatever. But it's actually a perennial aquatic garden, and that's what it becomes, a perennial aquatic gardening when you're in the thing. You're looking around, you're taking a few plants here and there, you're just enjoying being in nature again. So, and this is something I noted with the kids. Because at this age, there was a young one, 5, 6 years old, the floaties on. That's what had been happening in the swimming pool before it was taken away. As soon as this was built, the child comes out, it's like, oh my God, the floaties actually came off. It was jumping and it was diving down to the bottom and coming up, and it's a different thing that goes on in the head. something else happens. It's a switch.
Right, because there's something to see down there.
There's something to see down there, and it's natural. So it goes with something which is in our primordial brain. We recognise it, you know, and the kids recognise it.
I love my job. Hey, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and follow along so you can see how more people are living the aquascape lifestyle with recreation ponds. And if you're really interested in this stuff, check out the Team Aquascape page where we actually showcase how to build these things. I love my job.